Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first ever podcast done by the students of International School of Shairyar, Lahore. I'm Uzma Shairyar, and I also work in the International School of Shairyar. And this podcast is coming to you by the studio of Digital Dost, the studio given to us very graciously by Musa Raza of Digital Dost. And so let's get to the topic. The topic for today is bullying, both sides of the story. You know, we always talk about how how people are bullied in school or workplaces or maybe around their neighborhoods. But have you ever thought about what goes through a bully's mind? So this is how we're going to approach this. And this is also because Sabbath schools all over the world are celebrating the International Week of Anti-Bullying. Or celebrating, I would not say celebrating, to raise awareness about bullying. So we thought we'd go for podcast. Why am I saying broadcast? Podcast. And so here we go. First ever. Welcome, students. And Atta, let's start with you.
Okay. Well, my name is Atta. I'm from grade 10 and I go to International School of Shairyar. I've gone here my entire life. No other school. You?
My name's Alizah. I'm in grade 11 and I've also been in this school my entire life.
So both of you have opened your eyes in Shairyar, basically. Shairyar, Lahore. You're born here, basically. Opened your eyes to the world or whatever it is. So let me begin this podcast by just asking you, are you a bully? Do you think you are a bully?
That's a broad term, isn't it, Alizah?
Yeah,
Yes, what do you
it's a really
think?
broad term. But I think before we actually talk about whether we believe that we are bullies or we have bullied, what exactly do we define as bullying? So I'm going to throw the question back at both of you. So what do you think?
I mean, I'd classify bullying purely on intent because I'm not going to lie, I've been mean to people unintentionally, but I wouldn't classify that as bullying. Would you? I think it's intent.
Well, if you think about it, a lot of times when we're talking about bullying, there is a difference between bullying, and we should be able to define that.
It's
Being mean, you could be randomly mean, or you take out your anger at somebody and just shout at somebody.
It's human.
That happens to every. But the thing about bullies is that they pick on a victim. They have a victim. They, I think, take pleasure in belittling that victim. At least that's how I would look at a bully. So that would be my definition to you, Alizah. That a bully generally picks on somebody and goes with the intent of hurting or harming them. A mean person, anyone can be mean. Like, you know, you and me.
Yeah.
We could go out there and we're angry at something and we take that anger out on the first person we see, or you know. So the intent is not to harm. It's just you know, you're just releasing your emotion.
But then again, we're also talking about children. Children who sort of go with the trend. So if, for example, we're talking about cyberbullying. If somebody is, we don't always think that we are bullying, but it turns into that. So I actually had an experience where there was this one girl and she was posting mean things about this other kid. But, you know, she just thought it was a joke and all of her other friends were doing it. And it just, you know, I did obviously ask her, like, why are you doing this? It's not very kind of you. But she did not at all think that she was bullying and she had no idea. So, I mean, I don't think her intent was even to hurt him because he didn't even follow her on Instagram. So I think, like, I don't know if that would be called gossiping, whatever, but I think in a sense that was bullying.
And let me just explain something to you. I read somewhere that when you are laughing at somebody, making fun of somebody, like continuously, with your friends or with a group of people, as if you're not laughing with them, that means you're laughing at them, and that amounts to bullying as well.
I'm glad you brought that up though, because I think there's different stages of bullying, miss. Because, for example, you might not be thinking you're being a bully, but that person might be feeling like they're bullied.
Yeah.
You know? But I'd say that's a lower case of bullying. A true bully, and that's my personal opinion, a true bully is someone who wants to hurt you, takes sadistic pleasure hurting someone. I mean, that's
comes
my
to school
definition.
or the workplace just with this thing in mind. Okay, today, what am I going to do to that person today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I've met those kind of people. They're not nice.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. When you do
And
come
you're
across
into that.
such people,
It's unpleasant.
it is an unpleasant experience. So now, let me bring that question back to you. Do you think you've ever been a bully?
Miss, by my definition, I would say no. You?
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to follow your definition,
Mhm.
but I think it's different being a bully and having bullied. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that being a bully means that you do it on a regular basis.
One-off instance.
But
maybe.
yeah, it could be a one-off instance where you really just
Going after someone.
go
targeting
after
someone.
exactly
Daily,
and you
at-
do want
at
to make
work.
them feel bad.
Mm.
So I think most people have probably bullied at some point in their life, whether it's directly or indirectly, because we always think about bullying like you're going to the person and you are speaking to them, making them feel bad about something, or you're hitting them or whatever. But then there's also like gossiping.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's a kind of
You could ruin someone's image.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Ruin
of
someone's
course,
image,
gossiping.
ruin their self-image. So I think from that perspective, then maybe I have been bullied, but I wouldn't call myself a bully at any point.
I mean,
I'd
I
just like
can
to-
give you an incident
Yeah.
of when I was in school, my incident.
Yeah, miss.
Now, what happens is, when you're with a group of friends
Hmm.
and you kind of have this thing, we're the cool pack and we're
Yeah,
going
yeah,
together,
exactly.
and then
The
this
popular
person
ones.
who might appear to you as a nerd and maybe somebody who is like ripe for the picking to be bullied or to be made fun of. I have been there, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
And I'm ashamed of that because when I realized how hurtful that was, of course I stopped and I did apologize,
Yeah.
but I did it. So sometimes when you're in the flow of things and with your group of friends, you have this sense of power which can turn a normal, I wouldn't say I'm a mean
Like
person.
a power dynamic almost.
Yes,
like
I think
more
it's a
people,
power dynamic.
And then they all feed off each other. Like,
Yeah.
let's all bully this one person.
Yeah, who seems to
Yeah.
be the,
Gang
mentality.
yeah, they
Yeah.
gang up on you. They
Yeah.
gang up on you.
But I feel some bullies either grow as a person and move on and become a better person, or they stay in their ways. And
How
yeah.
how would they move on? How do they realize?
Well, miss, they have to have the right people around them, really. Because bullies, in my opinion, don't just one day decide they're going to be a bully. It's the atmosphere around them, like
That
their
encourages
friends.
that
Yeah,
behavior.
because bullying is like they get something out of it. Like their friends think they're cool or something.
Yeah.
If their friends think what they're
True.
doing is not cool, they're not going to bully. It's very simple. At least from my experiences and what I've seen, the bullying is like cool to people. It's not cool to me, but obviously everyone's different,
Yeah.
aren't they?
So what does go through a bully's mind? I've told you what I felt at that moment, and I don't have that bully mentality where I want to hurt people, but I did it, So what do you think goes through a bully's mind?
Well, I'd say none of us here are bullies in my opinion, so putting myself in a
In
bully's
that
shoes,
is different.
I'd say that it's really just power. Everyone craves it, it's human. You have something over someone, it's like they're in the palm of your hands and they can't do anything to you, and you're just bashing them and berating them. And then when they can't do anything back, you feel like you own them almost. Like it's a bad feeling.
What motive could a bully have
Yeah.
to bully
What do you think?
someone? Like, of course, the power, but not every kid is always doing it for the same reasons.
Exactly.
So what do you think? Do you agree with this? Is it just a power
I'd
dynamic?
just say it's one reason out of many, because everyone's different.
I don't think that's why it starts off.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what it becomes,
Yeah.
but I
Okay.
think your reason for actually starting it is different. Usually bullies, they're always encouraged by their friends. Like we said, the gang mentality. They all
Exactly.
feed off each
Atmosphere.
other. And, when you're encouraging each other, it's like bullying becomes cool.
Yeah.
It becomes so cool that you all want to do it like together and you're
Morphs your
attacking
mindset
the same
almost.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, sometimes, another thing that while I was looking at this topic, a lot of times the bully might be being bullied at home.
Yes, that's how I think if you look at charts, there's an increasement in bullying. Like there've been so many campaigns of anti-bullying, but the rates of bullying has always gone higher next to the anti-bullying awareness. And I think that's because people who get bullied, their mindsets change, so they become a bully. And that needs to stop. Otherwise, the anti-bullying awareness thing, it really won't do anything, in my opinion, unless the entire atmosphere changes. Like a big social change. It's like it's almost a norm right now.
Yeah.
Like people have accepted bullying. It's a thing that happens, and now
they just say, okay, what can you deal with?
Yeah, it's like
what
part of life now. But it shouldn't be. That's wrong.
Some people even say like bullying is a good thing, which in a way, I wouldn't say it's a good thing, but I think it does sometimes benefit maybe the victim into, and I don't want to say benefit, but I think like
maybe make them thick skinned, make them stronger mentally or physically even. Make them more motivated.
Of course,
to
that's
fight
not
back.
always the case. Some kids.
That's always the 1% though.
Yeah.
That's never really.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
But it's a good point though, because some people from victims either become a bully or they either learn from their bully and they can stand up to them at a later date.
Can we
Motivated.
have a high school without bullying though? Is that even possible?
Yeah.
Actually, you cannot have a world without bullying. I mean, we're not just talking about school level.
Yeah.
We have bullies at the workplace.
In the workplace, obviously.
We have bullies in the marketplaces, in your neighborhoods.
In every industry, really, there's a bully.
Yeah, because I feel that human beings have this dark side.
Yeah.
And it can take just one situation or one incident to bring that out. And if they have that control, they can control it. But I think, it's all about self-control as well, I think.
Because like if you know you're bullying someone and you stop yourself, now that's very different from when you know you're bullying someone and you don't want to stop yourself because it's too hard to stop yourself. Like,
can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
What happens when a bully doesn't learn from his or her mistakes? What do they turn into later on in life? Do you know anyone, of course this is going to be aimed at you because we're still in high school. Do you know anyone who might have been a bully and still has that mentality? Are they successful? Are they happy? Do they still have that same mentality? Or did they develop into a more serious thing where they're just, towering over maybe their family or their friends? So
I wouldn't say that I know of any such person, but I think if they have kept on bullying and they haven't been called out for it, I think they just generally turn into, I would think that,
sad,
cruel, power, hungry, bitter probably at times. Because how long can you be mean? How long can you, I'm not going to say mean. How long can you go on hurting people and be happy, I think. So I can't really give you an instance of it because I haven't seen it myself. But I would think that I don't think they're happy people.
Because when you have so much hatred in your heart, how can you be happy?
Exactly.
I think you push your people around you who love you the most away when you just have so much hatred, because then at that point you've been hurting people for so long, you start hurting the people maybe you love. And then they go away from you, then you're just sad. Your children,
people
your parents.
actually are scared of you. I mean, how sad is it that people are being nice to you only because they're scared of you?
It's ingenuine.
So, when you think about it, no, it's not a very happy situation or a fortunate situation where you end up being a person who people are nice to because they're scared of you.
Because everyone has empathy at the end of the day. Even the bully has empathy. And then
should have empathy.
You
no.
should.
But empathy, do you know what empathy is?
I mean, it's having emotion.
No, empathy is more than that. Empathy is actually when you actually can feel what the other person is feeling.
Yeah.
Can a bully do that? Do you think that if a bully actually had that feeling, that, they could actually feel the hurt of their victim, do you think they'll continue?
No, because there's two sides, in my opinion. Maybe they know the hurt that they're feeling and they crave that. Or
they feed on the hurt.
Yeah, they feed off the hurt.
What do you think,
that's the
Alizah?
crueler bully, in my opinion.
Yeah? What do you think? About this...
do they have empathy?
Do they have empathy? Do bullies have empathy?
I think every human has empathy.
I mean, it's very rarely that they don't. Like I'm pretty sure the word for it is sociopath, and I won't call every bully a sociopath now, would I?
I think they have empathy, but I think empathy is also something that you can control. Having empathy is something you can control. Why, again, like, we are thinking, because we've been raised in a certain way, we think it's good to have empathy. It's good to, it's not good to hurt other people, but when you're a bully, when you're a bully and you haven't had that, necessarily had that upbringing, then...
Let's differentiate between empathy, sympathy, and apathy. You know the difference?
Well,
sympathy is when you feel bad for the person. Yeah. Empathy is when you a person who is empathetic. Is a person who is actually very sensitive to everyone's feelings and interesting.
They can hide it too. It's not.
And then there's apathy. Apathy is like, okay, I see you're hurt. I don't really care.
Yeah, I'd say that's my definition of a bully. Very obviously on the higher scale.
Then he's not empathetic, is he? Then he's apathetic.
Yeah.
Like that emotion, that hurt is not really bothering him. So now let me go back to it. Do you think bullies are sensitive? That somebody raised that point. Was that you?
That was me.
Okay, so do you think they're sensitive?
I think many bullies were bullied, so I'd say they're quite sensitive due to that. They either get thick-skinned and aren't sensitive, or they are so sensitive more than even the people they bully, and they don't show it. And if a bully is bullying someone and someone tries to fight back, say a single thing to them, they'll get triggered, and this is where physical bullying comes in, because usually starts off verbal, then goes into physical. And when you insult your bully, what happens? Chop you in the face.
So that physical bullying again comes in as well. Yeah.
Because we've been kind of talking about, mental bullying, verbal, but physical bullying is also a thing too.
Any anecdotes to support that? But before we go to this anecdotes, let me just ask you. The effects of the person who is being bullied. We generally know, but can you tell me what the effects are, the person who is the victim?
Yeah.
Have you been bullied?
Not really. I wouldn't say I've been bullied, but I'd feel everyone's insecure, right? Even people who don't get bullied. But I feel if you're getting bullied, your insecurities just skyrocket, really. So you just close off as a person. It's harder to grow, obviously, because you're constantly being put down. And then the people around you, even if they shower you with love, you still have, it's human to focus on the negative, not on the positive. So you're focusing on the bully and not on the people who are cherishing you. Obviously. So it's very hard on them.
It's hard.
I personally can't give an anecdote of being bullied.
Have you ever seen somebody being bullied? We have to think about bullying as being a continuous process. Yeah. Not that one-off thing.
That one-off instance. I'd say throughout the years, I've seen at least a couple of instances of continuous bullying. And I'd say normally it does start off verbal, but it can get physical, and it gets quite bad from both parties, because sometimes that person being bullied later on in life, I've seen this, by the way, that person who wasn't a bully becomes a bully. And then they repeat the process, hence why obviously the bullying rates are going up.
It becomes a norm, I think.
Yeah. It's become a social norm now. It's what happens in life. You have to deal with it. Life is unfair, but that's just not the right mindset, in my opinion. That you just be so narcissistic and pessimistic. Look, this is how the world is. You have to deal with it. Get stronger.
So if you had to combat this problem, which I understand that that's not the topic. But
no, why not? Let's go there. What do you think?
If you did have to, then how would you think the most effective way to deal with it in high schools would be?
Well, if you're just talking about school, not the world view.
And this is including cyberbullying.
Yeah, cyberbullying as well. I'd really say to the people, not one person can change it. It's not like a teacher is going to come in high school, obviously. They're going to come and say, stop being a bully, and then they're going to immediately stop. Even if someone's suspended or expelled, they're going to go to another school. They're going to come back. I'd say it's really the people around them, they need to put their foot down, all of them. It needs to be courage, basically, from the entire environment saying, you need to stop, and then they'll stop.
So you're saying in terms of there has to be an intervention.
Yeah, there needs to be an intervention of a lot of people.
There has to be an understanding by everyone that this is wrong.
And that's hard because not everyone thinks the same. Some people are like, it's how the world works. Some people are like, we need to stop this.
But a lot of the time, I think most of the time in high school, nobody identifies this stuff as bullying. Now, we have thought about it and we've seen it and we thought about it and we thought, this is bullying. This is what I define as a bully. But for most kids, I don't think anyone thinks that not anyone, but I think most people, they don't think about it in the sense that
just don't want some negative connotation on themselves, do they?
Not on themselves even, but even
others,
if your friends, if your friend is bullying someone, you wouldn't be like, oh.
You won't want to
associate with the friend is being bullied. I think it's difficult to call that bullying. I think because in students' minds, they don't think of it as bullying. Any of the students, even the victim, the people around the victim, or the perpetrator, or anything. I think it's difficult to define bullying.
I think that's because the social norm now, because it's been so normalized, we've been desensitized to bullying at this point that everyone's just like, move on. Like, I've seen people been physically hurt and then they don't define it as bullying, as victims.
Now, when you're talking about physically hurt, is that something that happened just once?
No, I'd say continuously. Yeah.
Okay.
And the victim does not even call it bullying. He's just like physical altercation, fight.
They call it a fight.
Yeah, call it a fight. Because they don't want to feel weak. Because when you're saying you're being bullied, I'd say, as a victim,
that's then you become a victim. Yeah. Then you feel like a victim.
Yeah, you don't want to feel like that. You want to feel weak. You want to feel like, I go on a fight. I fought them. Yeah. Like that mentality that I fought them instead of I was bullied.
Instead of being, instead of looking like the weak link.
Yeah. It's almost like a coping mechanism, you could say. And same with bullies, they have their own coping mechanism. I didn't bully that person. I simply got in a fight. And then everyone around them obviously is normalized to it then eventually. And then no one calls it bullying. And when this bullying awareness week, everyone's like, what's that?
Yeah, it feels like very far removed.
By the way, I do have books out there for the longest time in the library, which is about bullying and stuff like that, but nobody's even bothered checking it out.
When you say it's anti-bullying week, I think it's difficult for students to connect that with their own life. Or when they think, like I said, when they think of bullying, they don't immediately, the image in their head doesn't immediately go to, oh, I know this person is being bullied, or I know that I've been bullied. It's not like that. So like, even when I hear anti-bullying week, I don't think like, I don't know, I don't think about it in terms of
yourself. You don't apply it to the people you know,
to the people I know.
You're just like, it happens.
You're right. I mean, I also, when you asked me that question, have you, because Miss, you've known more people than we have so far. And if you ask me, and I'm like thinking, and I was actually thinking about it, do I know somebody who was a bully and then grew up, but then I just needed to go into, in some premise, let's say, or I needed to think that maybe this is what would happen, because I really don't know anyone who I would have thought would be a bully.
Have you ever been bullied?
Yeah, okay, so I wouldn't know if that would be bullying.
But you've told us you bullied someone.
Yeah, once. That was when I started thinking I'm the cool crowd. Have I ever been bullied? Or no. Where I would, you see, I would think the person who has been bullied
it's harder
in school. No, then I would, and now I'm thinking back about my school years, and I'm thinking, you wouldn't want to go to school, you're depressed.
Yeah. No. And usually you'd want to repress that, you wouldn't want to talk about being bullied in general. Like, you'd be like, some people even forget they've ever been bullied.
I mean, I was in school, in this international school, where I think...
Not this international.
No.
Another one, obviously.
In Nigeria. Yeah. And I was the Asian kid. So maybe for a little while, that thing was there,
like being teased about it or something.
Yeah, something like that. But no, but it wasn't.
It wasn't
I wouldn't.
bullying.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Maybe someone else would classify that as bullying, because everyone's different at times.
Yeah, and maybe I didn't think of it as bullying, but that was it. I was just stereotyped as the Asian kid. That's
exactly.
It.
See, even you didn't think of it as bullying.
Yes.
In my opinion, if the person feels hurt, it's bullying. But that's just me. If the victim feels hurt, then it's bullying. But then obviously someone else could say that if the victim, even if he doesn't feel hurt, he or she, then still bullying.
Yeah.
Is that your definition? Because it's not mine.
I think we did define it as the intent. So
and then possibly now I have to go into retrospection. Where I'm thinking, okay, when was I made fun of? Was I made fun of?
You have to almost act like an omnipotent
because you see, when back then, bullying for me would be getting hurt
physically.
So I wouldn't think about the mental thing of it or the rumors part of it.
Because the mental aspect has really had a resurgence nowadays because the awareness is so high now compared to before.
So
Because now there's new forms of bullying, like cyberbullying. That didn't exist.
That
doesn't exist.
And you know what's so scary about cyberbullying is because you can be anonymous.
Exactly, you could be a stranger.
So people and now people who were scared to bully on your face
can just do it.
They can hide behind their phone.
Yeah, they can hide behind that anonymous identity of some silly name and then just pound on somebody.
In my opinion, that gives them more power than any bully because they have no repercussions, do they?
Also, I feel like you carry your phone around everywhere. You take it with you. Whereas in real life, if you're away from that person, you're away from them. They can't do anything to you.
True.
Your phone is always on you. They're texting you or they're posting about you or they're making fun of you.
Scarier.
And it's almost made bullying easier if you think about it. Like you can bully someone whenever you want. You could pull out your phone. I'm bullying this person now. As simple as that.
Yeah.
And obviously that person is going to be on their phone because that's how today is. And like it's like you want to bully someone, like you get the feeling and then you can bully them right then and there. You don't have to go and see them. You don't have to, it's like...
So it's at the tip of your fingers,
it's like portable bullying.
Ha ha ha, I just bullied somebody, ha 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 ha,
I feel like sometimes though, if you're in a friend group and you have like that one friend
who everyone bullies.
who everyone kind of picks on, you would call it picking on, you wouldn't call it bullying. Who everyone picks on, where do you draw the line between joking around and then bullying?
That's a good question because I can answer that.
I think my youngest sister would testify to being bullied constantly. Now that I come to think of it, because the older sister is kind of ganged up on her, and now she says that you guys really bullied me, when we were kids, and we never thought about that, But
I'd say bullying can have two outcomes. Either you look back, it depends. If you like that person, you look back on it fondly, or you look back on it very negatively with like trauma.
Fondly?
I'd say you can look back on bullying fondly.
Hurting people fondly?
No, as in you were bullied by someone you knew, but you overcome that, so you look back on it fondly. Would you say your sister and you don't look back on it and laugh?
Yeah, we do laugh about it.
Yeah.
Now we do. Now we do.
That's why I wouldn't really put that as like bullying. Because to me, bullying will stay negative throughout. If it ever goes positive, it's not bullying. They have very extreme definitions.
This is such a vast topic, I feel, that we can actually go on about it. And, I think we should have another podcast very soon, maybe related to this topic or
it's very
something.
Big topic,
we can even go into mental health issues from this topic because this is very relevant as well. Because students nowadays feel that maybe our next podcast should be about mental health and students who face what are the reasons that they have issues, especially after COVID and all that.
And plus, that topic would be very relevant to this topic.
So we can connect the topics. Exactly. So how about it, guys? Let's try the next podcast and see what how this podcast is received, and then we can try another one. Hopefully it's well received. Please God. Okay, so we need to sign off now, and before we do, I'd like to thank Digital Dose again and Musa Raza for very kindly lending us his studio and helping us with this podcast. So thank you very much, and thank you very much. I had a great time talking to both of you. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And so until next time.
And obviously the podcast will be on links, obviously.
Yeah, it would be uploaded, just as a reminder, it would be uploaded on our social media.
YouTube,
Facebook, Twitter, and all that.
Yeah.
You guys know more about this than I do, but the social media platforms, guys. So I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.